gonna have a party, a party, a party. We're gonna have a party, a happy birthday party. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh, after waiting very long, the day at last is here. And you are getting older now, you've grown another year. We've candy and ice cream, and look, for goodness sake, here comes Mommy carrying a great big birthday cake. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. My birthday comes just once a year. I wish I could have two, so everyone could sing again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Here he comes.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
For she's a cute little girlie, for she's a cute little girlie. Her hair is shiny and curly, that nobody can deny, that nobody can deny. And I'm gonna tell you why, 'cause she's a lovable girlie, Mommy and Daddy's best girlie. And she's a cute little girlie, which nobody can deny.
They are lovable children, yes, they are lovable children, adorable, lovable children, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. And we're gonna tell you why. They're such adorable children, Mommy and Daddy's best children, and no one could want better children, which nobody can deny. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Building up with iron bars, iron bars, iron bars. Building up with iron bars, my fair lady.
Iron bars will bend and break, bend and break, bend and break. Iron bars will bend and break, my fair lady.
Build it up with silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold, my fair lady.
One, two, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, open the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight.
9, 10, a good fat hen. 11, 12, dig and delve.
13, 14, maids a courting. 15, 16, maids in the kitchen. 17, 18, maids a waiting. 19, 20, food aplenty. My plate is empty.
Let's everybody sing.
1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, open open the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, a good fat hen. 11, 12, dig and delve. 13, 14, maids a courting. 15, 16, maids in the kitchen. 17, 18, maids a waiting. 19, 20, food aplenty. My plate is empty. Jack Spratt could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so betwixt them both, you see, they licked the platter clean. Oh, Jack Spratt could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so betwixt them both, you see, they licked the platter clean. Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. Put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. They couldn't put Humpty together again. They couldn't put Humpty together again. Puppy dog, have you done wrong?
How else could Puppy get into this song?
Puppy dog, what did you do?
Went to your closet and chewed up your shoe.
Puppy dog, straight off to bed. No bones for supper, cold water instead. Puppy dog, soon you will see. Chewing up shoes is not good sport for thee.
Oats, peas, beans, and barley grow. Oats, peas, beans, and barley grow. Can you or I or anyone know how oats, peas, beans, and barley grow?
Waiting for a partner, waiting for a partner. Open the ring and choose one in while we all gaily dance and sing.
Thus the farmer sows his seed, thus he stands and takes his ease, stamps his foot and clasps his hand and turns around and views the land.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. To market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jiggity jog. To market, to buy a fat cow. Home again, jiggity-jow.
Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I."
Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and don't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them. Little Bo Peep went out to seek her sheep and prayed that she'd find them. Then all at once they came scampering home, wagging their tails behind them.
The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell, hi-ho the derry-o, the farmer in the dell. The farmer takes a white, the farmer takes a white, hi-ho the derry-o, the farmer takes a white. The wife takes the child, the wife takes the child, hi-ho the derry-o, the wife takes the child. The child takes the nurse, the child takes the nurse, hi-ho the derry-o, the child takes the nurse. The nurse takes the dog, the nurse takes the dog, hi-ho the derry-o, the nurse takes the dog. The dog takes the cat, the dog takes the cat, hi-ho the derry-o, the dog takes the cat. The cat takes the rat, the cat takes the rat, hi-ho the derry-o, the cat takes the rat. The rat takes the cheese, the rat takes the cheese, hi-ho the derry-o, the rat takes the cheese. The cheese stands alone, the cheese stands alone, hi-ho the derry-o, the cheese stands alone. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. One for my master and one for my dame, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day. It was against the rules. All the children laughed and played, laughed and played, laughed and played. All the children laughed and played to see a lamb in school. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was open, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in the counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes. Along came a blackbird and sat upon her nose.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On his farm he had a duck, E-I-E-I-O. Quack, quack here, and quack, quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack, quack. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On his farm he had a chick, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On this farm he had a turkey, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Quack, quack here, quack, quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack, quack. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Oh, the green grass grew all around, all around, all the green grass grew all around. There's a hole in the ground and the green grass grew all around, all around, all the green grass grew all around. There's a tree in the hole and the hole in the ground and the green grass grew all around, all around, the green grass grew all around. There's a limb on a tree and a tree in the hole and a hole in the ground and the green grass grew all around, all around, the green grass grew all around. There's a nest on a limb and a limb on a tree and a tree in the hole and a hole in the ground and the green grass grew all around, all around, the green grass grew all around. There's a bird in the nest and a nest on a limb and a limb on a tree and a tree in a hole in the ground and the green grass grew all around, the green grass grew all around. Oh, the green grass grew all around, all the green grass grew all around.
I'm in a big, big hurry. I'm oh so late, so late. I have a date in Wonderland at 20 after 8. The king of Wonderland is waiting there for me. That's why I better hurry, hurry, hurry. Gosh, I'm late.
As Alice followed the funny little white rabbit, she found herself at the bottom of a deep rabbit hole. There she saw a long hall with many, many holes. Oh my, the doors are all locked! But nearby on a glass table, there was a golden key that fitted a very small door leading to a lovely garden.
That door is much too small for me to crawl through,
cried Alice. Then she saw a little bottle that said, "Drink me." And after drinking some, she grew smaller and smaller and smaller.
Oh dear, now that I'm so small, I can't reach the golden key on the table that will open the garden door. What shall I do?
She'd cried and cried, wondering how she could ever grow to her normal size again, when suddenly she saw a piece of cake that said, "Eat me." And she ate some, and soon she grew to her normal height again. Looking around, she saw a big grinning cat, and Alice said, "Which way should I go?"
In that direction, you will find the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Little Dormeows.
How do you do, little Alice? How do you do today? We're glad to know you, Alice. Have a cup of tea and then we'll all go out and play.
As she wandered along, a parade of Wonderland soldiers came marching by. They were clubs, diamonds, and the King and Queen of Hearts, and they were on their way to the palace where the King and Queen were to try the Knave of Hearts for stealing some tarts. At the trial, the Queen asked Alice what she knew about the stolen tarts. "I know nothing about the stolen tarts," and the Queen shouted, "Off with her head!" Oh, but Alice just laughed at them all. "I'm not afraid. You're only a pack of playing cards." And at that instant, they all flew towards Alice, and they grabbed her and shook her and shook her. And to her great surprise, she awoke to find her sister shaking her and calling, "Alice, dear, wake up, wake up. You've been sleeping a long, long time."
Alice was dreaming in Wonderland. She had a wonderful time. Alice is leaving Wonderland. Goodbye, little Alice, goodbye. Goodbye, little Alice, goodbye. Poor Cinderella worked and slaved all day. She never had time to have any fun. She never had time to play. Her two stepsisters were mean to her, and so was her stepmother too. That's why Cinderella was always lonesome and blue.
One day the king of the land decided to have a big ball so that his only son, the prince, might find a suitable bride. Everyone went to the ball except Cinderella, and as she sat weeping by the hearth, a beautiful fairy godmother came from out of nowhere and said, "How would you like to go to the dance, my little Cinderella?" "Oh, I'd love to," replied Cinderella, "but I cannot go, for I have no clothes but these tattered rags I am wearing." With that, the fairy godmother touched Cinderella with a magic wand, and presto, Cinderella was dressed in the most beautiful gown anyone could ever see. All at once, the fairy godmother touched the pumpkin with her magic wand and turned it into a beautiful coach. Then she touched 4 mice, and they became 4 beautiful white horses. Now, Cinderella, remember this. At 12 o'clock midnight, the spell will be broken, and all the beautiful things which you have now will turn into what they were before. So leave the ball before midnight. Then, off to the ball went Cinderella.
Cinderella was the fairest of them all, the fairest of them all. At the ball, the prince fell in love with Cinderella. At the ball, the prince fell in love with Cinderella. At the ball.
Cinderella and the prince were so happy together that Cinderella forgot all about the time, when all at once the clock struck 12. Suddenly, Cinderella remembered that the spell would be broken, so she ran out of the ballroom, and in her haste, lost one of her glass slippers. The prince ran after her, but she had vanished. Coach, horses, and all. The next day, the prince made a complete search of all the homes for his lovely princess-to-be. At last, he came to Cinderella's house and asked the 2 ugly sisters to try the slipper, but they couldn't make it fit no matter how they pulled and tugged. In desperation, the prince said, "Is there no one else here who might try the slipper?" And as Cinderella came into the room, the sisters laughed.
Goldilocks went to play. She went to play in the woods one day. Soon she found she lost her way in the great big green, green forest.
All of a sudden, she came upon a little cottage. The door was open, so in she walked. It was the cutest little house that Goldilocks had ever seen. Looking about her, Goldilocks saw 3 bowls of porridge sitting on the table. She went up and tasted the first bowl, but it was much too hot. Then she tasted the next bowl. It was much too cold. When she tasted the last bowl, it was so delicious that she ate it all up. When she was finished, she went over and sat down in a great big chair. But it was too hard. Then she tried the next chair, but it was too soft. Then she tried the last little chair, but when she sat down, it broke all to pieces. Now Goldilocks went upstairs and saw 3 beds all in a row, just as the dishes of porridge and the chairs had been. She tried the first bed, but no, it was too hard. She tried the second one, but it was much too soft. Then she tried the third bed, and before you could say Jack Robinson, little Goldilocks was fast asleep. Soon the owners of this cozy little cottage returned, singing happily,
We're so glad to be home, glad to be home, glad to be home. We're as glad to be home as any bears can be.
But as they looked around their precious little home, they noticed immediately that things were not as they had left them. Little Bear said,
Someone has been eating my porridge and has eaten it all up.
Then they saw that their chairs had been used,
And Baby Bear cried, Someone has sat in my chair and broken it all to pieces.
Then up the stairs went the bears, up, up, up. Step by step, step by step, up, up, up.
Who could have eaten the porridge and who could have sat on the chairs?
Once upstairs, Papa Bear shouted, Who's been sleeping in my bed? Mama Bear wept,
And who's been sleeping in my bed?
Baby Bear cried out,
Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and there she is right now.
This woke up Goldilocks, but the bears told her that everything would be fixed and to come back and visit them as often as she wanted to. Papa Bear told Goldilocks just how to get home so that she wouldn't get lost again. And as she skipped down the lane, they heard her singing,
I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm on my merry way. But I'll return to visit the 3 bears one fine day. Yes, she'll return to visit the 3 bears one fine day.
We're the merry men of Sherwood Forest. We're as happy as can be. We have lots of fun till day is done as we sing so merrily, as we sing so merrily.
Many years ago, in the days of King Richard the Lionhearted, there lived in Nottingham, England, a man named Robin Hood and his band of merry outlaws. They lived in the forest and ate of the king's venison and drank October ale. If ever a stranger should pass through the forest, he would hear the merry men and Robin Hood singing off in the distance this jolly ditty.
We're the merry men of Sherwood Forest. We're as happy as can be. We have lots of fun till day is done as we sing so merrily, as we sing so merrily.
But don't think that everything was always happy for Robin Hood. The mean and wicked sheriff of Nottingham was always plotting a way to capture Robin Hood and his band of merrymen. One day he hit upon a plan.
I'll have an archery contest,
said the sheriff.
Robin Hood will not be able to resist the chance of proving to everyone that he is the greatest of them all.
When word of the contest reached Robin Hood, he enrolled immediately. But wait, cried one of his merry men. If you go to Nottingham, the sheriff is sure to capture you. Ah, my good man, said Robin Hood, I will go in the disguise of a poor beggar, and I will win the contest and bring back the prize. On the day of the contest, the sheriff of Nottingham was singing with glee.
Robin Hood will soon be in the jailhouse. I will capture him and you will see. Robin Hood has tried for the last time to make a fool, to make a fool, to make a fool of me.
The sheriff said,
Aha, now we will know who is the greatest archer of them all. There are but 2 men left to compete, Ellsworth and that ragged beggar. Shoot, Ellsworth.
Ellsworth shot his arrow right into the middle of the bullseye.
There, you beggar, see if you can beat that,
shouted the sheriff. Robin Hood stepped up to the mark and confidently sent his arrow speeding to the target, splitting the arrow of Ellsworth in two. The crowds went wild. The sheriff knew that there was only one man in the whole land who could have accomplished such a great feat. Excitedly, he shouted to his men to seize that beggar. Robin Hood was prepared for this and had his men waiting to aid him. The sheriff and his men chased Robin Hood deeper and deeper into the forest, but by Robin Hood's shrewdness, he was able to capture the wicked sheriff. When news reached the king about what the wicked sheriff of Nottingham had done to Robin Hood and his merry men, he ordered that Robin Hood and his men were to be let alone and allowed to do as they pleased because of what they had done to help all the poor, unfortunate people of the land. Snow White was the daughter of a beautiful and lovely queen. When the lovely queen died, Snow White's father, the king, remarried. The new queen was very mean and vain. The only thing she wanted was to be the most beautiful woman in the land. And every morning she would ask her mirror,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?"
And the mirror would then answer, "You, queen, are the fairest of them all."
In the meantime, Snow White was getting more beautiful with each day that passed. And finally, there came a time when the mirror answered the queen's question like this.
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?"
Queen, though you are fair, 'tis true, Snow White is now lovelier than you.
The queen flew into a rage. "I'll have this child taken to the woods where she will be lost and never returned again." So she bade a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest. Snow White was wandering in the forest, lost and helpless, when suddenly she came upon a little cottage. She stepped inside and couldn't help but notice how very untidy the little house was. She immediately went to work putting things in ship-shape order, and finally seeing a cozy little bed in the corner, she couldn't resist going over to it and lying down. She was so tired. In the evening, the little seven dwarfs returned to their house in the wood after a hard day's work digging for gold in the mountains. Immediately, they noticed the change in their little house.
"Someone's been here, someone's been here. We can tell that someone's been here. Someone's been using our tables and chairs, our forks, our knives, and our fine kitchen wares. Someone's been here," the little dwarf said. "Look, there she's lying in bed."
Who can it be?
Who can it be? Look, there she is. She was so beautiful sleeping there that they didn't dare awaken her. But hearing them, Snow White jumped up in fright. But when she saw how little and kind they were, she told them her story. The dwarves asked her to keep house for them and not go away, for they loved her dearly. In the meantime, the wicked queen again asked her mirror,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?"
Queen, though you are fair, 'tis true, Snow White living o'er the hill is fairer, fairer still.
Bitterly enraged, the queen, dressed as a poor peasant woman, went to the home of the seven dwarfs and gave Snow White a poisoned apple. When she had eaten it, Snow White fell into a deep sleep, never to awaken again. Sadly, the little dwarfs put her into a glass box beside the road, telling all who saw her that she was a princess. One day, a young prince chanced to pass by, and seeing the beautiful princess, he knelt down and kissed her gently. With that, Snow White awakened from her long sleep and fell in love with the prince. When the queen heard this, she choked up and fell dead, and Snow White and her prince reigned happily ever after.
All around the vinegar jug, the monkey chased a weasel. The monkey climbed a cinnamon tree, up went the weasel. All around the vinegar jug, the monkey chased a weasel. The monkey climbed a cinnamon tree, pop went the weasel. All around the vinegar jug, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey climbed a cinnamon tree, pop went the weasel.
Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Said Simple Simon to the pieman, let me taste your ware. Said the pieman to Simple Simon, show me first your penny. Said Simple Simon to the pieman, deed I have not any. The man to Simple Simon, do you mean to pay? Said Simon, yes, of course I do. And then he ran away.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, had so many children, didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread, whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, had so many children, didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread, whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, had so many children, didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread, whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. Tom got beat, which sent him howling down the street. Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he run. The pig was eat, and Tom got beat, which sent him howling down the street. Three blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife. She cut up their tail with a carving knife. Did ever you see such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Three blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife. She cut up their tails with a carving knife. Did ever you see such a sight in your life as three blind mice?
know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane?
Yes, I know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane.
Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane?
Yes, I know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to sleep with his stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to sleep with his stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John.